Hello, welcome back once again to By Sword and Musket, our video arms YouTube channel. Um, Today we are going to have a look at the smallest revolver in my personal collection, although I do know that there are smaller, tinier, much smaller things than this. It just happens to be the smallest one in my collection, and um, classified it as a derringer or a house gun or backup piece, uh, and it falls outside the Firearms Act in the UK. So it is collectible uh, and antique. It's outside the Act because it's chambered in 30 caliber rimfire. There are only a few calibers in this country that fall inside the Act, mainly 22. Some of the others, like 22 Magnum, etc., are licensable, but this one isn't. And because it's rimfire, very, very difficult to reload, although someone has come up with a cunning plan in France, but it's rather fiddly, not totally reliable, and rather relies on the perfect positioning of each cartridge in the chamber, so the striker hits at the 12 o'clock position. So let's forget about all of that because it's illegal in this country. And let's look at the fact that this is legal, collectible, and rather fine. So let's have a close-up look at the piece in question. It is a Colt New Line revolver. Beautiful little thing. Beautifully shaped. I mean, it's very difficult for me to show this to you with my gloved hands. Let's try that. There we go. Look at that. An ergonomically designed piece from approximately 1875. They were made between 1874 and 1876. They were the only weapon that Colt chambered in 30 caliber rimfire. It wasn't a highly successful cartridge. It was rather superseded by the 32 rimfire. And there is a smaller revolver than this, and many, many smaller revolvers than this in the form of the 22s. But this just happens to be the one I had. And I thought I was being terribly clever, adding an extra gun to my collection by claiming I'd bought it for my wife, because it was such a beautiful, intricate, well-made thing. Rather like her, but it didn't wash. She saw straight through it. It was just another attempt to spend more money on guns, which, you know, fair call it was. So she is amazingly uninterested in these things, but puts up with it and me all together. But that's all you can ask for, really, isn't it? Anyway, Colt produced these in a blued finish and this nickel finish. What we have here is the silver nickel with rather fine rosewood grips, not showing any major chips or scratches. Nice bit of grain showing there, with a dark streak down it. So majority of the revolver is nickel. I believe this is in its original finish. I'll show you why in a moment. But then we have certain components within the weapon that are finished in this stunning nitro blue finish. including the central cleaning rod or clearing rod that the cylinder revolves upon, the trigger that pops out once the weapon is cocked, so that's concealed so it can't go off in the pocket, and also is protected by the frame shape, and the spur trigger and hammer, and you can see what I'm talking about with the nitro blue right there on the back. A beautiful contrast to the nickel finish. Reason I think this is in its original finish, which of course is more desirable to collectors, is that you have a minor failing of the finish here around the muzzle. So you would obviously get a muzzle flash or blast. I mean, 30 caliber rimfire, quite a long, decently length cartridge. It's going to bark a little bit. There's going to be a flash. There's going to be unburnt powder and residue around the muzzle, and that will cause the breakdown of the finish over a period of time. You can also see the slightest loss or disruption on this angle on the trigger shape and along the side of the frame there. And if you think about where the human hand would be holding it, the sweat and acids that come from the skin would be most in contact on that side. So it fits that this side, not too bad at all. But then, you know, the ravages of time, bad cleaning or maintenance or just neglect, you can see the tiniest bit of breakup in finish along the bottom of the frame as it goes into the cutout for the cylinder. Anyway, beautifully simple, intricate little revolver. It all goes on in here. Very clever. Mainspring inside, shaped around what is known as the bird's head grip. And that bird's head is no accident. It's for concealment. It's so it easily hides in the pocket. It fits beautifully in the palm. Now, it is tiny, but these were carried as backup. When your main revolver runs out of ammunition, you haven't got time to reload, you still haven't put off your assailants, you have got this to convince them to leave you alone, move away, or leave your house. Now, markings on the Colt New Line consist of this etched panel along the side of the barrel, which simply says Colt New 30. 30 obviously being the caliber. They've got that marking there. You have the Colt's manufacturing Hartford address in 2 lines along the top, which you really need a magnifying glass to see properly, but they're inlaid up, rolled in there into the top. And the last, no, not the last marking, but an important, significant marking is the serial number on the heel of the butt frame, which in this case is 6840. The final marking that we can see is the caliber marking, which is just there. It says 30 cal. Doesn't specify that it's rimfire or centerfire, purely 30. This is a loading channel to enable you to slide the cartridges in obviously, and then knock them out one by one. So you would, as the revolver is locked at the moment, you pull it back to the first position. Now that has become mobile. You can hear it just clicking. There we go. So that gets your cylinders in line. Slip a cartridge in. There are 5 cylinders. Second position has brought the chamber in line with the barrel. And I'm going to do this only once. Oh, there's the, if you're ever unsure what caliber you're looking at, another way of working it out is just to look at the shape of the hammer. This is a rimfire hammer. It's flat, so it strikes the rim of the cartridge. If it was center fire, it would be pointed and hit the primer in the middle of the cartridge. So that helps you identify exactly what you're looking at, because it's quite difficult. It's certainly difficult with a lot of the Belgian copies to work out what caliber weapon you've got before you. But if you're buying to collect, certainly in this country, if you're trying to navigate the intricacies and the bazaars in and outs of the law relating to firearms, you've got to be 100% certain of the caliber, almost first thing. Because once you have established what caliber you're looking at, you know whether you're allowed to legally hold it, and you can enjoy owning it. So 30 caliber rimfire, as I said earlier, not made anymore, certainly in the UK. Not available in gun shops. Walk in and ask them for that, and they just laugh in your face. Very politely, of course. The simply in aesthetics, the chamber, the cylinder has what we call the long fluted cylinder. And then firing, on cocking it, the trigger has come out forwards, reduced itself. I'm only going to do this once because this is a fragile little thing. Bang. Quite a bark, I believe, quite a snap, like a yappy terrier. And 30 caliber, yeah, not very powerful, but only really meant for indoors, close up, in a disagreement over a gambling debt, or in trying to get some kind of assailant to leave your house or back off from a side street. There we have it, 30 caliber, 5-shot, fully functional, not deactivated, which would be a horror if someone, I have seen off-ticket guns deactivated, and that's just a crime against humanity. Your aiming is very simple. You've got a fixed semicircular sight and you have a groove down the back, but really it's just a point. It's a point and leave me alone pistol. Kindly leave our residence or I will put a hole in you and you won't like it. Yeah, so there we are. Collectible. Some people collect purely derringers. There are many, many types. This is quite small and delicate compared to, say, the Remington, which is a bit more of an item in your hand. But nevertheless, beautifully made by Colt. 2¼ inch barrel. As I say, only product that Colt produced in 30 caliber rimfire. They stopped making it in about 1911, and it was completely obsolete by 1912. pre-First World War. So, still, lovely condition, rifle barrel. As far as collecting is concerned, you could then go off down a completely different avenue, try and get a blued one, try and get them in different calibers. Every excuse legal to add more guns to your collection. So I hope that's filled in a blank or two. If you enjoyed it, please click like and subscribe to my channel, and then every time we do a video, you'll know there's someone talking about guns again to listen to. So be safe, and thanks for joining me. Pop him down here. Adios.